So, Jujutsu Kaisen is infamous for having some confusing abilities. Some that need literally whole chapters to explain them, and as much fun as reading that is, I still don't understand how it works after. So I'm gonna make this series trying to explain all these confusing powers. I would say mostly JJK, but other anime have just as complex powers. So we'll see. For this video, we're gonna look at projection sorcery, an inherited technique in the Zenin family, just like Megumi's 10 Shadow technique. The users of projection sorceries that we've seen so far are, sorry for butchering the names, Noi, that's not it, Naobito, and Noya Zenin. Onto the technique. Projection sorcery takes 1 second of time and divides it into 24 frames per second, or FPS. I am by no means an expert in film stuff, but to put it simply, when you record something, you're actually taking still pictures that when put together creates a moving picture, or video, just like that famous horse film. With 24 FPS, that means there are 24 still pictures for each second of the film. Back to projection sorcery. The user basically pre-plans the movements, assigning one movement per frame. We see here that the first frame is the person running, leading up to the jump in the 6th frame, and so on. The reason why this technique is so powerful is because in a normal fight, it takes a long time to run and jump to a certain place. Well, more than a second. And with projection sorcery, it executes all the movements the user plans out in a single second, making them incredibly fast. Naobito is stated to be the fastest Jujutsu sorcerer besides Gojo. But he's Gojo, so come on now. Projection sorcery is not all powerful, as it has some limitations. The first being that the technique is limited by the user's field of view, meaning they can't make any movements in the direction they can't see, so no going backwards. Once the user marks out the moves they want to make and start the action, they can't adjust any of the movements, making them stuck in their predetermined path. The last restriction is that the planned movements can't disobey the laws of physics too much, so sadly, no flying. If the user doesn't follow these rules, there is a punishment that forces the offender to be frozen in place for a second in what looks to be like an animation still. When the user touches another person with their palm, that person must follow the same 24 FPS movement rule just like the user. The user is basically gifting the target the same ability as them, but since the power takes strategy and skill to use, most people will be frozen in place, being open for an attack. Hopefully with this short video, they would have simplified it enough, because I was super confused when it was first introduced. Also, when this gets animated, I know the animators are going to have such a good time with it, it's going to be crazy. But if there are any other confusing abilities you want to explain, JJK or not, let me know in the comments down below. Alright, peace.